L.
Right. And I want one with pure learning in it. There we go. Okay, so this is a good one to say, okay. Okay, so maybe I'll zoom out first. Oh, I was going to address David's question. He seems to have gone off the screen. So David, I also put, I think, let me double check, Bounty task guides there. To get involved, to get certified to, vote's a bad word, it's to have, everybody should vote, it's to have your vote influence budgets. Anyway, these are the things to do: make the relevant sociocratic connections, get mandate/sponsorship, establish budget criteria, and make projections. And that's
Okay, Dan, I might want to cut you short just a little. Now, this issue of sponsorship, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah, so let's do it. Let's do it, and then you'll see whether it makes sense to you.
Okay.
All right. So, education, right. RChain technical literature / education seems to be important. So this is where I see CoLab fitting in. Does that make sense to anybody else?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
That does to me.
Okay. And
I think Jim's opinion matters here probably a lot, right?
Right.
Is that your vision for CoLab, Jim?
Yeah, it's more of a cooperation incubator. You could call it.
Okay, well,
education is a major part of it.
Right. I don't right now want to make a sort of label for CoLab. So we don't really need to nail that to the ground, but we'd all agree that it overlaps with this stuff in any case, right? So let me swap in one more piece of context. Oops, I didn't mean to make a new window. So I've actually got to talk with Patrick McGuire about tax stuff and others. And so his org chart has got these 4 pillars. And one of them is developer education, led by our own Joshi. Joshi is pretty close to somebody who can speak on behalf of the co-op about how important something is.
Yeah, at least especially in terms of marketing stuff.
Right. So we've got a critical nearly a critical mass of members. A bunch of people have been showing up for this CoLab, doing work that I think is widely respected. And I think Joshi has said nice things about it. So my inclination would be to make up a tag. We could call it developer education or anything else you like, Joshi, and sponsor CoLab in there.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I'm personally comfortable with that label. I think I guess my questions are, I would maybe be more comfortable sponsoring specific tasks, which I think is how the bounty system is designed to work anyway, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know, like running a second session of the Rolang office hours, or contributing a lesson or something, writing up a post about how our song works or something like that. And then, yeah, I think that would be good things for CoLab to do.
Now, speaking of sponsorship, when you talk about sponsorship, are you talking about gaining acceptance for a tax or someone paying for the tax? Because I think that's been a very a bone of contention a lot lately in the bounty system.
Okay, well, the word sponsorship means someone's paying for it, but I think that the actual mechanics of setting up the money flowing from one pot of, one part of the co-op budget to another or whatever are going to take some time, probably 4 months to actually set it up. So in the meantime, I'm just sort of talking with people who probably could arrange for budgets in due course.
Right. So I think that basically the idea is like, if we just pretend for a second that I can totally represent marketing, which as Dan says is like pretty close to true. And David has some idea, like I would like CoLab to do blank. And then I say, yeah, I think that's valuable and that works with marketing's bigger picture plan. We'd like to sponsor that. Then ultimately in the long run, what should happen is that marketing budget should pay for that. I think then what I'm not clear on, and David isn't either, and Dan is saying, maybe he's not either, or at least it'll take a long time, is like, how do we actually get money from marketing to actually pay that bounty?
Right. As far as like Kate and the treasurer and the co-op budget and stuff. So yeah. Given that everybody's been asking for a co-op budget and hasn't really seen what they wanted to see, and Kenny is promising, real soon now, I don't want to gate the bounty system on getting all that sorted out. But I do want to sort of be consistent with, eventually consistent with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So for a while, my understanding was, or my thought was like, I just don't clearly understand this yet. Like I'm too, still too green or something, that I didn't quite understand how this works. And now it looks like maybe co-op finances is kind of something that almost no one understands how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
So am I making sense, David?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
The idea, what sponsorship means is sort of fuzzy right now.
Right.
What I was suggesting is that we have endorsements where you give a issue a thumbs up to endorse it, and then we try to get endorsements from the group that's responsible for that area or that tag as well. And that way, somebody coming in from marketing that doesn't really know, they'll see Joshi endorsed it, and maybe they'll endorse it as well. If they think it's a good idea, they don't have to, they trust Joshi's judgment to some extent. I don't know.
That's a lightweight voting mechanism. We could definitely, that's certainly useful.
Yeah, but what I was actually talking about is we need to make a separation between endorsement and sponsorship. Because if you go through a lot of issues currently, the most recent issues that were open in the bounty, Gigi and I think Jason YSJ, they've been of the view of who's going to pay for this. Even if, like, for instance, the our song demo highlights reel, I think marketing, if I'm not mistaken, Josh, has endorsed that issue. But
whoa, slow down right there. In what way has marketing endorsed this?
I think he's just saying softly, like socially, and is hopeful we're getting there, which I think is correct. Not formally.
Wait, this is news to me. I really want to know this.
Yeah.
In what way is marketing supportive of this in any way? I've never heard of this.
This is writing up our song. Oh, wait. Highlight reel. Is this a video?
I believe
yes,
so.
I think it's a video.
It's a video. So I don't know much about the video. I'm not even sure I've read all of this issue, but what I do support, and what I think Ned and Patrick have started to talk, and David have started to talk about, is going through the RSong code base with Kvan and then writing up sections of, like, here's what this smart contract portion of the Rolang code does, and here's how the infrastructure works. Because Greg's always saying in the debrief, like portfolio companies and DApp devs should be looking to RSong as an example, kind of in the same way we were thinking status might be used as an example. So Ned suggested we do, Ned wants solutions to do all of that. Ned doesn't have a budget yet. I also want example dApps. And so my thought was like, yeah, marketing budget can pay for some of that.
Okay, but reeling back in,
Yeah.
I have seen no signals that marketing supports this video. So,
Okay, I was thinking decentralized Banksy, it's part of marketing.
That's true. Decentralized Banksy is Alberto. I forget his last name, but he's part of marketing.
oh,
Now that's why I think it would be very valuable for anybody who endorses this to show their endorsement, so we know that people have looked at this and they support the idea.
right. I keep track of any kind of signal of endorsement, and this is not one, as far as I can tell. He's, if he's from marketing, he's certainly not speaking for them here.
Yeah, so it looks.
I think
it's not very supportive of this particular video issue. Based on that,
crypto videos. I told him he should reach out, perhaps to the head of digital marketing, Amir,
right?
Or go to the marketing hours on Tuesday, office hours on Tuesday, or something.
Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. David, you were in the meeting yesterday. I was not, with Ned and Kvan and everything, right? What was the scope of that? Were you guys thinking you were going to make videos, or was that more of like writing up documentation and tutorials around the code base?
It's more of documentations and tutorials.
Yeah, that was my understanding too, and I, on behalf of marketing, support that. How much money I have is still totally a mystery, as you know.
Okay, I was about to put you on the spot for that.
For how much money we have?
Well, I want you to guess what's a good number for the next 3 months of developer education bounties.
Okay, I can take an educated guess as long as it's not, as long as everyone's clear that I don't really know the answer.
Oh, right, yeah. It'll only be represented as a guesstimate.
Okay, so let me think about that for a minute or two, and then I'll make a guess.
All right. And then what's a good place to document that? Maybe here. Okay, well, maybe I won't cite this particular one as an example because you said you're more interested in sponsoring items than the process. Yeah, because that's a comment I've heard elsewhere, is that it's people are less supportive of paying rewards for meetings than they are. If the meeting goes to build something, then we would reward the building of something, and the meeting is part of building of something.
Yeah, that's how I'm thinking about this. I'm more inclined, especially as we start this reboot, just to make sure, we're actually getting value. I'm more inclined to sponsor a specific deliverable than like a task committee or something like that.
You gave a couple examples, part of a tutorial, and I don't know. Do you remember the other example you gave? Yeah,
another one I gave is spinning off multiple sections of the Rolang office hours. So Patrick and Jeremy were working on an idea where we promote that pretty heavily, and then we can split it up into an intermediate and a beginner level. And David was looking to maybe lead one of those or lead it with Jeremy.
I think we have one in CoLab on Tuesdays, the 4 p.m. session.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. How's that been going, David? What have you guys been doing?
Yeah, it's been going smooth. Then we also have rnode sessions on Thursdays by 4 too. That's New York time.
So what do you guys do at the rnode session? I had come to those for a while.
Okay. The Tuesday sessions we do Rolang work study for the ones we've had so far. I've been the one guiding the sessions. Then on Thursdays, we put people through how to run and set up rnodes.
Awesome.
We have that. If we don't have anyone who needs it, then we work on something else.
Sure.
So here's how, tell me if this makes sense. My budgeting was between everybody who's working on developer education, maybe we put in 90 to 100 hours a month, which is less than one full-time person, but that's because people are working on other things too. And, you know, I have no idea what everybody's hourly rate would be or anything, but if we start with around a $40 an hour rate, that's 40 times 100, which is $4,000.
I have no reason to pick some other number.
Yeah. Okay. I think that you know,
Joshi,
if that's payable in rock, I think that's something that Ankur would be really comfortable with. And I also think that if we start there and things are going really well, then it would be realistic to increase that, you know, if we have more demand and qualified people who are doing work.
Wait, was that 4,000 for 3 months or 1 month? I missed it.
Oh, that was for 1 month. Yeah. Sorry.
Right. Okay.
is it for? Are you talking for a person or for the an entire team?
So all the budget, all the bounties for developer education.
Right. That's kind of what I was estimating. What are your thoughts on that? I would love feedback on that and to kind of make that decision together.
You know, you gave an estimate of a person's, the number of hours a person spent. A person spent a month working on something, then multiplied by an hourly rate of 40. So I was wondering if you're speaking for just one person or a whole team.
My thought was that everybody who is working on developer education presumably are also working on other things. So if we sum up the hours that everybody is putting into developer education, you know, maybe I put in 20 and you put in 30 and Kven puts in 10 or however it works out, that could sum up to about 90 to 100 hours per month. Yeah, right. That's a good way to say it.
FTE is full-time equivalent. That's one person in engineering, you know, budgeting. All right, so that's subject to negotiation, but I heard consensus there. All right.
Okay, I'll be out for 10 minutes or so. I need to go check something.
It would have been nice to have its own issue there, but welcome, Victor. Do you go by Victor when conversation? Not hearing you. Okay.
Oh, yeah, no mic on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he goes by Victor.
All right. I guess the chat thing I don't. Okay. Okay, so if I push this button, well, along with the button I pushed a minute ago, that was what it takes to reboot a label. And I'm going to I don't know if we're going to have an education thing.
So definitely developer education falls under probably what education used to cover.
That's what, yeah.
The only other thing I could think of that goes under education would be like the course Greg did. That's, you know, computational calculi is pretty technical, but not necessarily developer. Like it's not necessarily writing code. No, but
Yeah, I've got some stuff in that area that I'd like to talk to you about. I can't, anyway.
okay.
So I don't see, well, I haven't heard anybody talking about education on behalf of the whole co-op. So it seems a little unlikely that we'll reboot education as it was. And I know that TrenchFloat had trouble figuring out who runs education around here. I pointed them in a couple places and it didn't, you know, anyway.
Yeah, I don't know who that would be either. Community outreach, I guess, is the closest thing that I could think of, but yeah.
I also think it depends on the kind of education. What are we educating the members on? But technical education is quite clear, but other aspects, what are actually educating on?
I didn't hear the last part of that.
Yeah, I was saying technical education or some, if there's a specific, so education is quite broad.
Right.
If there's a like breakdown of the education, what we're educating on, like now we just did on technical education, right? Okay, that one is now clear. Okay, this is what we're educating, but just education is broad. Some people might not be interested in other aspects.
Right.
So, that's the problem, TrenchFloat.
Right. Okay. Yeah, if there's anybody in charge of education as a whole, we don't know who it is. Okay.
We can figure out that with Patrick and some other people from the marketing team to know who should be in charge of education as a whole, so we get a direction.
Well, it's not clear that anybody should be in charge of education as a whole. Is one of my.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to think of it. Like when someone comes and says, I have a really good bounty that should fall under education and I'd like to sponsor it, then like, great, they can be in charge of it, or they can make a different sub-label like developer education, but we don't need to go hunting for people to be in charge of old labels if there's no natural need for it.
Right. It's likely that they'll be educating people about, I don't know, collaboration or economic, like, I would love to be educated about tokenomics and crypto, you know. So if somebody,
yeah, I would like that too. That sounds fun.
I really support that education on crypto economics, and basically maybe not just on crypto economics, talk about cooperative and then economics. These are related, especially RChain as a cooperative. We can use education on cryptonomics and cooperative. It's going to be useful.
I heard a lot of words, but I'm not sure what the gist of it was. Did you say you wrote a book on this?
You mean me, Dan? Are you talking to me?
Yes.
No, what I'm trying to say is that I am of the idea I'm voting in for this, educating people about like something like behavioral economics that has to do with the blockchain and how game theory.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay.
Maybe some aspect of cooperative.
Yes. So you're agreeing that this would be a good thing to be educated about. Yes. Okay. That makes sense.
I think we ought to have guides associated with labels, and when somebody comes into the co-op, they don't know who to contact. I mean, they can ask, but that doesn't mean they're going to get an answer or anybody's going to know. It would be good to have a contact person anyway. If they're not considered a guide, they would be a contact person for that label. That gives someone, a place to go.
Well, all I'm saying is that for education, I never found that person, and we tried hard.
Then I have a question. I have a question. Hello, I have a question. Can I ask?
Of course.
Uh, I was just thinking about something now. I was like wondering, do we wonder how people get around the community? Especially, there are some people who may not really have knowledge about blockchains and decentralized tech, but maybe because of their interest about RChain as a cooperative, not necessarily as a blockchain network, they decided to join. I really wonder if it's necessary. It's still all revolving around what we are saying anyway, but I really feel that if there could be a body of kind of a group that is responsible to socialize people into the basics of what RChain intends to solve, and so that people who are not just laymen who doesn't really have understanding about blockchains and how it works, they can get to think around it and then create their own ideas.
That sounds like onboarding, which I've heard Derek Barris talk about. That is a very good question, but I'm going to try to focus a little bit. Is that okay if we could set that aside for now?
Sure.
Derek Barris, I think is his name.
Yeah, that's his name. And you're right, he is working on, I don't know exactly what his plan is, but he's excited to be working on that and
Right.
moving fast.
And that has been discussed in Patrick's input to the weekly debrief. All right. Pop.
The sociocratic way, in every cooperation, everyone expects someone else is going to do it, and a lot of things don't get done. But if we have a consent that we need a certain role filled, then we should have a sociocratic election and elect someone to the position.
Right. As far as I know, we don't have an effective mechanism for putting a question to the membership.
No, it's only within the group. Whoever shows up are the right people to make a decision.
In other words, whoever thinks there should be somebody in charge of education should elect the person in charge of education.
We should have consent on who we
right. Okay.
assign it to. Oh, geez, I lost my.
That makes sense. I'm not going to take that up right now.
No, basically, we assign it to someone by consent. We propose people to do it, and we talk about it, and we see what objection. Of course, if the person ultimately objects and the objections can't be answered,
sure,
that's a problem.
Okay.
You may have to nominate someone else.
Did we reboot something else? We made some guesses. Oh, now I remember. It was core development.
DApp development.
I haven't heard anybody talking about sponsoring DApp development. I mean, that's kind of what Reflective does and Pythia, to my mind. Ned is looking for, he's putting together his budgeting and funding and stuff. So, but he likes the names tools dev and solutions dev.
One of the pillars that I'm of, like, the marketing program overall is example dApps. And so I could sponsor some of those, but yeah, I don't know if I would sponsor like a whole label about dApp development where someone wants to build their pet dApp or something. There has to be pedagogical purpose for the example
dApp. I guess my assumption is that the tools will develop tools and legacy platforms, but we'll be targeting them for RChain ultimately.
Yeah, I see us developing dApps internally for our own use and for the use by the co-op and the use by the system that we put in place to maintain and build RChain and Rolang.
Yeah, we're not talking about commercial products that we're going to be developing.
I mean, there's nothing that says they couldn't develop into commercial products, but their original development will be more for eating our own dog food than anything else, and educationally for the purposes of learning and understanding what we're doing.
Okay, so dApps for use by the co-op itself, like operating the co-op, is the subject of a collaboration between Kenny, Rowe, Glenn, and myself, which brings me to certificate of membership. I meant this note the other day. Kenny, Rowe, and Glenn Braun and I met a couple days ago to talk about co-op processes in Rolang. This manageable inbox problem is high on Kenny's list. So this is kind of the manageable inbox problem. How does the board or whatever listen to the membership without being overrun by crazies?
That's an interesting problem in life in general. That's bigger than the co-op, but yeah, I'd love to solve it or help solve it.
Yeah, well, Glenn has got some interesting ideas.
Oh, awesome.
Using Lumio is, got some possibilities and stuff like that. My recent work on a membership certificate consisting of public key connected to a Discord identity could help. Tangentially related, Glenn suggested a personal node, rnode per member to facilitate privacy. Glenn and I brainstormed a bit about how to do hybrid messaging where reputation is kept on a public chain and the content of messages goes point to point between personal nodes. So certificate of membership, maybe I'll try to do the short version. This I've got this application where you start with all this client ID and client secret stuff for setting up a Discord bot. Anybody familiar with that?
I'm familiar with it in as much as you showed me it, gave me a good tour of it the other day.
This kind of stuff. All right, so I did all that and gave it to my application. Let's see if the thing is running. It seems to be, yeah. So, and then this is, never mind. Okay, so here's the current state of things. Let me reload this page. So this is me logged in. I don't think I can make this available to anybody else right now because it's only running on localhost. So getting this installed on Robot would be interesting. Okay, so this service, the one that's running in front of us, has this public key. That has that public key provides a sort of membership certificate that is a counter-side binding between an authorized Discord user and a public key provided by that user. The service authenticated you, that's me, using Discord OAuth2 and verified that we have the member role, which is the one with that number, in the pub RChain Discord server, which is the one with that number, and then Discord gives this time and it says I joined at that time. Now I've used Discord long before that, so maybe that's the last time I logged in or something. I don't know. Okay, so here's the state of the art. Copy your public key from rsign and paste it below. And then this thing, the binding between this key and your Discord identity will be formatted as JSON. So there's my Discord ID, my username, the role in the guild. Then I should use rsign to sign the binding. Now this is where I want the flag to come up. Jossie, but I haven't done that integration yet. So
Yeah, gotcha.
So right now you paste that, type in your password, sign, take the signature, put the signature there, goes in the time, and then you request a certificate. And at this point, that's as far as I got the coding done. So what should come back is it will take your signature and then countersigning it using this key and say, ta-da, here's your certificate of membership. And then other people can write contracts that trust this key to tell me who is an authorized, which keys come from authorized co-op members.
So yeah, I got it. So it says this service with this public key that you've highlighted, that basically represents like the co-op key, or a key that the co-op says is officially associated with this app.
Right.
That key that you've highlighted, when I go through the process of associating my key with my ID, that key will actually sign my key, thereby saying like the co-op officially, hereby acknowledges that Joshi is a member and his public key is the one I just signed.
Yep.
Cool. Nice work.
Awesome.
Did that make sense to anybody else?
Awesome.
Cool.
How is the public key generated?
There's the private key is generated from a random number generator, and then
The public key.
yes, the public key is somehow derived mathematically from the private key using elliptic curve cryptography that I only barely understand. I can show you the code that does it.
There's a function call that generates them as a pair, and the underlying crypto is hard, and there's books about it. Is kind of like the high level view, right?
Yeah. So
I thought we could use our an Ethereum public key. Ethereum.
yeah, sure. Yeah, you can use an Ethereum public key.
Yeah.
I have not taught this thing to eat Ethereum public keys because I don't want anybody to trust this thing very much yet. Does that make sense?
There's no reason you can't do that once it's stable and tested a little more, though, right? We can just
sure.
button for import key and you give it your seed words or key pair or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I'm very leery to go in that direction because that's when you start getting people to actually try to transact money and stuff, and then they might sue me and stuff. And so I'm not going to add that feature until somebody says they're going to answer the phone when people call and are angry.
Yeah, that seems like a good idea. And anyone who wants to take that risk is welcome to fork it, too.
Absolutely.
In fact, that would be great if someone could do that work and us not be on the hook.
Exactly. Well, I'm talking with Ed about it. I mean, Ed is trying to build a business out of this, so he's got his own coding architecture, but yeah, he is interested in taking on that as a business. So, folks like Gary, can you imagine how to integrate this into contracts for running the co-op? Oh, you're muted.
I can't, but I expect someone like you can, and I hope that you will leave enough clues about how I can do it when I get there.
So this is something I wrote while talking with Glenn and Kenny. This is just sort of the brain dump. He kind of said that when there's a statement of work that comes in, if it's okay by HR, finance, and strategy, then it can get approved. So, this is almost Rolang that does almost something related. Does that make any sense?
So this is basically a contract where, like, let's say some new person, Joe Blow, comes along and says, here's my statement of work. I would like to work as a contractor for the co-op, and they submit it. And then this contract is a way for finance, strategy, and HR to each individually submit their approval or disapproval. And when all three of them submit approval, then something happens, then it's official in some capacity.
Right. And one of the things we could add to this contract is, if the submission was signed by somebody who is a member.
Sure, because you don't want to give statements of work to people who aren't even members, I think, right?
Right. And it not only are they a member, but we kind of know which member, you know. So presumably the co-op has records of like my name and address associated with this. Because I went through KYC and all that.
Right, yeah. Ian is supposed to be saving those files we upload somewhere, and yeah.
Right. I really wanted to get the date when I was granted this role, but I didn't manage to find that. It's before this.
You just use the current date and time?
Well, I'm recording the date it was that the guy is signing. Right. So this also helps with Sybil things because I can make up all the public keys in the world I want, but I'm only going to get this endorsement on one Discord identity.
Right.
We're 45 minutes in and we haven't even started on your testnet idea, Joshi. I doubt we have time to give it a good treatment. We can try if you like.
I would actually not mind trying. Yeah, I think I've got commands basically ready to go. And you know, if something goes wrong, that'll give me something to think about before I try it again.
Okay.
The one trick is that we'll all have to be running compatible versions of Node. So I don't know if people have a preference about which node they'd like to try to use. I could figure out which one I'm using.
Yeah, you would please tell us the right one.
Yeah, okay. All right, that sounds good. Do you want me to take the screen share so people can see what I'm doing?
Yes, please. Let's see, stop.
So this channel that I'm looking at here is node testing, and I'm looking at messages from Wednesday. This is Michael Birch kind of giving me the rundown of how to do this process. And basically the idea is there's two commands, right here. The first one, we're basically going to redo the Genesis ceremony that we did in Berlin, and this first one is the command that he ran. You know, he was the bootstrap node and sort of did all the central stuff, and then this was the command that everybody else ended up running. So if I just run, I'm going to start by just figuring out what the right version to run is. What I have installed is what we used for node testing last Tuesday. It's definitely one of the many 0.6.4s.
It's going to spit out its Git hash in a second, though.
Yeah, right.
There.
Yeah. So
okay.
It was.
Is this Josh, is this dev or?
Yeah, I don't know whether it's. I don't think it's current dev. I'm sure stuff has been put on dev since.
Okay, go hunt it down for us on your screen.
Yeah, right. What's the from GitHub? I guess is the right way to do that, right?
Well, they tend to put it somewhere else. I would go from the node testing notes.
Well, so the node testing notes have changed since last.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but that's where I would look.
Yeah. So probably up one level is where we should start by looking. But I don't know how to get Git hashes from here.
You can't.
Yeah, right.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah. So the other place I sometimes look is here.
Is the releases?
Yeah.
So that's got 7D6.3. And what's the version on yours, on your screen?
5D6.2. But we could all just update to this one right here.
Okay.
But the only thing is I just don't know for sure that it works or is stable in whatever capacity we need. But this seems like a pretty good option.
I was going to say, I need you to flip a coin right now.
Yeah, this one was released 19 days ago. Let's go for this one. So it comes from, I'll put this in the chat if I can. I can't, but github.com/rchain/rchain/releases. I can put it in CoLab. How about that? This seems like an rnode runners thing.
Right.
And so or I can do better than that even.
Then when did you download yours? Because I think I updated mine.
Yeah, mine's older than yesterday. Let's all just use this one that's right here. That way we'll all definitely be.
Put the hash in there, please.
Okay. Yeah.
Short hash is good. Yeah, that's fine.
Whoops.
GitHub never wants you to grab the short hash.
I know.
Which I guess is reasonable.
So I'm going to download it here.
So what exactly are we doing here? I mean, we're going to connect to a bootstrap?
Yeah,
Make
basically.
a testnet.
Yeah, we're gonna do the same exact thing that you and I did it when we were in Berlin with, you know, Michael up on stage and we launched the testnet and everything. But we're gonna try it with someone less experienced, namely me, playing the Michael role and see if we can reproduce his results. Okay, so I'll do my.
So you're going to validate the Genesis block?
I'm gonna create the Genesis block candidate. Whoever of you want to participate are gonna be the Genesis validators, basically, and then we're gonna, you know, do that same exact thing. Yeah, I'm gonna send out the candidate. You guys are gonna make sure it matches. If you get that famous message of like expected block candidate, your node will sign it and send it back to me. And then when we reach the minimum number of signatures, we'll have our own local testnet go live.
I guess I'm confused as to who's going to run the Genesis. I mean, who's going to run the bootstrap?
I'm going to run the bootstrap.
Oh, okay.
Unless you'd like to do it, but I've spent some time thinking about it, so I thought I might give it a go.
Okay, so we're going to need to know the bootstrap.
Yeah, right. So when I run that first command, I'm going to get a bootstrap, and then I'll put it in Discord or whatever, and you guys can all use it that way.
So David, should we use rnode Bob or robot.net or what?
Yes, please. Pick one.
Okay.
I mean, I can use my own.
You could
PC.
use rnode. You could use robot.net. I'll use rnode Bob. I was actually thinking of doing it on my local machine.
Okay, I'll do it on robot.net then. You can do it on your local machine.
What's a good command to? Okay, I guess I can just rnode -s.
Rnode run -s.
Just to check that I've got. Oh, I should clear out all the directories and stuff. Crap.
Yeah, and so the other thing we have to coordinate here a little bit is whoever wants to participate in this, we've got to get keys into the bonds file.
Right, and we did that. We ran a standalone to get those, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So you can, to generate a key pair here, you can rnode run -s like I've done on the screen here. And by this point, it's generated key pairs for me.
So, Josh, if I'm doing an rnode purge, I don't have to remove the rnode directory, do I?
If you're doing I understood the question is, do I have to remove the rnode directory? But I didn't understand what is the situation you're asking about.
I mean, if I'm doing a sudo apt purge, if I'm purging my rnode, do I have to remove the directory also?
I don't think it removes the .rnode directory from your home folder. You can double check.
Yeah, it doesn't remove the .node. It does remove
/var/lib
r/rnode rnode lib, which is where I.
Okay, I'm running 7d6 blah blah blah.
Okay, perfect. Me too. That's the new one we're trying to get on. So what we've got to figure out is we've got to figure out how to make the bonds file, which there's one right here as an example that we can just edit. So this is basically going to be like your public key, your weight, someone else's public key, someone else's weight. So that's easy. When we get public keys, we can fill that in. And then the other thing we have to do is somehow make a wallets file. And so
where do I get the public key for my?
So if you ran standalone, you can go to .rnode/genesis, and there'll be several of them in there for you. So these, whoops, sorry about that.
Yeah, but only one of them is the right one, right?
Right now they're all just key pairs, and so you'll send me your public key, and I'll use whichever one you want to use in the bonds file that I make.
You can use any one of them.
Correct. Yeah.
Wait, so my node did not pick an identity that's exactly one of those?
That's correct. It did not do that.
Okay, that hurts my brain, but all right.
Yeah, when you just run rnode run-s, it like makes a bunch of default assumptions. It creates 5 validators, puts them in there.
Okay.
And it acts as none of them.
It really should choose one randomly to just so you can you don't have to provide it.
Yeah, I totally agree, Jim. It's like we don't even have a Casper instance running when we just do rnode run-s.
Right.
Okay, so I just stuck one of my keys in there.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna you stuck a public key, right? That's the file name.
It ends in .sk, so I suppose that's a secret key. Should I do it differently?
No, it's super trippy. The file name, this something.sk is the file name, and that's your public key, and the contents is your secret key.
Okay, so I'm picking a different one.
Okay. Yeah, so you should give us the file name, which is your public key.
Yeah, the file contains both the public and private key, right?
Yeah. The file name contains the public key. The contents contains the private. Yeah.
I'm deleting the one that I shared.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you could do that because that was going to maybe trip my brain.
Yeah, you're saying the file is the public key, right? Then the content is the private key.
That's exactly right, David. So I'm going to move the one that I'm using to somewhere that I definitely won't lose it. My desktop. And then delete all of those. And then I'm going to open bonds.t. So the other thing that I'm not 100% sure on, but I think we can figure out is the format for the wallets file. So we'll figure that out in a second. But here we go. So there's my public key, and I'll give myself a rate of 4. And then here's Dan's public key. So feel free to pop yours into Discord on the rnode runners channel. Dan, I'll give you weight of 5. And then.
Oh, what we didn't do is we didn't start recording.
Oh, you're right. Maybe we should.
We are recording.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Oh, nice. Oh, way to go, Jim. I guess I'm just going to SSH into my test node to see the format of the wallets file.
I think it was just a public key and the amount of rep.
Okay. Do you remember whether it was comma separated or tab separated?
It looked like it was space separated, but I deleted my virtual machine, so I don't have it anymore.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I guess the recording rate has been on there.
So here's the format. Okay. Oh shoot, that format is going to be address wallet balance, and then 0. So generating addresses is going to be tricky. But maybe we don't need to worry about how much rev we have since cost accounting isn't there yet, and I can just we can all use this same wallets file. What do you guys think about that?
I don't mind that. Why is generating addresses tricky? Didn't we just give them to you?
You gave me public keys. This is the KCAC 256 hash of your public key.
Oh, Roger. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like impossible, but it's just an extra step.
Right.
So, what is the easiest way for me to get this file locally? I think just copy paste. We don't.
You can actually drop the file into the channel.
Yeah, right. This is up on my server though now. I need to get it locally before.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but I think I can actually just copy paste it. Whoops. Oh, no. Well, I'll just do it here for now. All right, so there's some wallets. None of them belong to us, but that's okay. So I'm going to put it on Discord.
And I should put this in the Genesis folder?
I think that's right. And that's what I'm going to do too. Okay, cool. So that looks pretty good. So now let me grab this command Michael gave me. rnode run. I'm standalone because I'm going to be the bootstrap. Deploy timestamp is 1 just because it's easy. Required sig's definitely not 10. I think maybe we can, if we're lucky, we can get 3 of us. I'm using the default data directory. My bonds file.
Didn't you want 3 there? I don't see 3.
Oh, thank you. So my bonds file is tilde/rnode/genesis/bonds.txt. My wallets file is similar. Duration is how long we have to collect those 3 signatures, and I think 10 minutes sounds reasonable. And then interval 15 seconds is how often I send out the my proposed Genesis candidate to each person who's trying this.
I suggest making it longer than 10 minutes because we had to sort of restart because we didn't make it in the
Okay.
In our first try. So the
it only needs to be short in the name of security. You might as well make it 5 hours. You know?
Yeah, okay, right. That sounds, well, I don't know how to do anything other than minutes, so I'm going to make it 15 minutes. That's enough time.
Sure.
So what I still need, I only have Dan's key so far, so if anyone else has a key we could use.
Yeah, I'm having issues updating to this version you pasted. It's still showing me the previous version I have.
Okay, do you want to take the screen share real quick, David? Maybe we can help you out.
Okay.
Jim, you might have to kick me off of sharing my screen, or maybe David can steal it from me.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
No.
No, we're still seeing my screen.
let me just oh, David can take it. I think. You have it, David? Yeah. Taking a while to display. So Okay, so
Yeah, David, we just see black screen.
we must be having connection issues.
Yes.
There we go.
Can you guys see the screen now?
Yeah, we can see it, David. We only hear you a little bit, but yes, we can see your screen.
I saw someone in the channel today say that they could see why this would be useful. Am I correct in assuming that you would do something like this if you wanted to run your own private version of what happens on Tuesday morning when everybody gets together and runs a node test?
Yeah,
That's exactly right, Gary.
it's your own blockchain. Yeah.
Yep. And this is also similar, although this is a little bit simpler, but it's pretty similar to the process for starting your own shard once sharding is supported.
Yeah, we in the meetup in Tampa last night, there was talk about creating a Florida shard, a Tampa shard, Tampa Bay shard.
Ooh, that's excellent.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll contact me. I didn't get it. Well, there was one guy that was really into it, and he's not a member yet, though. So hopefully he'll follow up.
You know these shared backup services? Anyway.
Shared backup services?
Yeah, where you can you and a friend can back each other's files up.
Oh, that's interesting. So like my emergency backup in case I lose my laptop or whatever is your hard drive?
Yeah.
And vice versa?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Or your USB drive.
Well, no, anyway.
That's just a different way to back up.
Yeah.
So okay, so anyway, I've got this running. There's just to make sure it worked, and it looks like it's working. There's no way I'll get 3 SIGs right now because I've only got 2 validators, me and Dan. Does anybody else have a key they want to put in?
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind here. Oops.
Okay, that's okay.
LS. rnode. Genesis.
Dan, have you run your node yet? Are you seeing anything interesting happening?
I don't know what I wasn't following when what command should I run? No,
Yeah.
I'm not running mine yet.
So, the command is rm-rf/ I think. Just kidding. No, anyone watching the video, don't run that. This is what Michael gave me. So, oh, you're gonna need my rnode address first of all. So that's on me.
Yeah, if you want to compose the command in the
Yeah,
Node Runners channel, that's fine with me.
that sounds like a good idea. So, oh, but that's okay. Okay, so this is still the old format of the Bootstrap address, but that's actually probably good because that's what they used in Berlin and is known to work. So okay, so let's see. Here's what Michael gave us. I'm gonna change it to be the correct address here.
I keep getting
David, you could paste error messages into the channel if you want.
okay.
So Michael gave me this flag dash dash data underscore dir. I think that might be wrong. I think it might be data dash dir.
The default is going to work for me.
Okay, yeah, cool. That's what I did too. Oh no, he was right. It is an underscore. Didn't know that.
Okay, I think I managed to get this working. The hash is 7D63, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Oh,
So
now
how do I give you the validator key?
So it's the name of one of those files. Like the way Dan did it, that works just great. Is he just pasted it right here into Discord. So I just dropped the command that we're gonna want to run.
What?
Whoops.
Are you the one running the command, or it's everyone has to run the same command?
I ran one command that was similar but a little bit different. Now the one I'm putting here is the one that everyone should run.
Okay.
So this isn't using the new Bootstrap format?
That's
Correct.
right, Jim. This is an older version, I guess.
4678 is me, so I should look at that file.
Okay, so David, this came from the file name. This is your public key. Okay, cool. Thank you. So I'll put that in.
The data directory, isn't it? Do we have to specify the data directory?
No, if you're using the default, you can delete that whole thing.
Okay.
How do we get the wallets file and the?
I need to put the bonds file in there too. The wallets file I dropped in Discord, so you can download it from there. I'll do the same with the bonds file, but I need to get your key in it first.
Okay, my key is in the channel.
Oh, I didn't see it. Thank you. Okay. And that's the one that was the file name, right, Jim?
Right.
Okay.
So the private key is the one we've been using for node testing, right?
No, that's not right, David. The private key. So David, this was you. I don't know if you're looking at my screen. You gave me this public key 62F8, etc. So whatever the contents of that file are, yeah, that's your private key.
Yeah.
So is anybody else looking to do this or in the process of getting a key, or is it just going to be the 4? Gary, are you working on getting a key?
No, I haven't even installed rnode yet. And,
Okay.
And I'm just following this academically, but I'm getting a lot out of it. Thank you.
Yeah, nice, good. That's good. Okay, so it's gonna be the 4 of us, I guess, right? Yeah, Dan, I edited that in the terminal now. Thanks
Okay.
or in the Discord, I mean.
So if you're using ~/rnode, if you're using the default data directory, you can use the command I gave.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I think that's all the bonds then. It's just going to be the 4 of us, so I'm going to save that and post it. Where the heck is .rnode? There it is.
Okay, there's bonds.
And the wallets.txt file goes in the current directory, right?
Goes in .rnode. Oh, it goes in, well, whatever, it goes wherever you tell it to go. But
Yeah, so
in the Genesis thing.
So
Oh,
Dan, if I'm not mistaken, using your command, I don't have to specify the wallets. I don't have to paste the wallet's text inside the command, right? Or the bonds file.
Well, I don't know that. As far as I know, yes, you have to tell it where the bonds file is.
yeah, there's some default location, but I don't know where it is, and it's easy enough to explicitly tell it where bonds and wallets live. So for example, if you just like download it to your downloads folder or whatever, you know, you could do -- wallets file ~downloads /bonds.txt or whatever, or you can put it in Genesis and put the path there.
Like I did.
Right. If you,
I don't think I
if you do it,
have.
I'm gonna give you a message.
I don't think I have a wallets file.
Right.
I dropped it a little while early. It's 10 messages up, maybe.
Oh, okay.
So I believe I can start my node now, right?
Yeah, I think you can. And if the log of my node here is basically saying like, you know, I made this unapproved block, I'm sending it out to my peers, and then it just says that same thing every 15 seconds because that's what I listed as the duration.
Okay. I'm asking a lot of questions here.
No, that's okay. We're all learning.
The wallets file, do we have to paste just one from it or the entire file? Point.
You should just download
The
the
entire
file
file.
exactly as I gave it. You don't need to edit it or anything.
No, my point is in the command.
Use exactly the command
In the command, you just.
David, use exactly the command I pasted except for your validator private key.
Yeah, that's a fine way to do it, and you can just save wallets to this same location that Dan and I have and is highlighted. That'll work.
I even pasted the commands for moving the things into the, like below.
Ooh, okay, look at this. Something interesting happened. I have a peer. Responded to protocol handshake request from Dan. Is this you? Are you 452 Echo 4?
I believe so. No, 4678.
Oh, okay, I got one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was reading your rnode address, not your key. Right. So, what does that say?
Jim, how are you doing?
Looking for what happened to my private key? There's no file.
Oh no.
I'm not sure how I'm doing on NAT traversal, Joshy.
On NAT traversal?
Firewall stuff.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think this looks normal. It says I got an approval from you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's all wrong. Oh, let's see here.
It was something about not receiving a Pong or something.
Yeah, I just saw that too. Could not receive Pong message back from. I don't think this is you, but maybe it is.
Let's see if I can figure out what my rnode address is.
It'll be at the very beginning of your log. It's in there somewhere. It says like this: listen for traffic on.
Okay.
Right after the HTTP 4S.
I seem to be 452 Echo, yeah.
Okay.
And is that what it's complaining about? Or?
Okay, I keep getting initialize protocol handshake.
No, Dan, yours is not the one it's complaining about. It's complaining about 77 Delta something. So what's the message you got, David? Do you want to put it in Discord or chat or something?
No, I have the node running, but it keeps saying initialize protocol handshake. I think it's been doing that for a while now.
Okay, that's the only message you
yesterday
got?
while I was testing. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So far I've got one approval. And David, what's your rnode address?
Let me. I think it's 778. Okay, let me paste that into the chat.
Yeah, I see that one. I'm getting some error messages from that one. It says I'm getting
Oh, okay.
could not receive Pong message back from 77D86E.
Yeah, exactly. That's my node.
Yeah, I wonder if your network firewall stuff is okay.
Yes, it isn't throwing any errors. It's just saying initialize protocol handshake.
Yes, well, firewalls are funny that way. When bad things happen, you just get no packets.
Yeah,
Right,
but usually
if
if there's a
Josh-
firewall error, it would specify that firewall unable to pass firewall.
Not in my experience.
David,
Yeah,
you've had success on Tuesday mornings, right?
Yes,
Yeah, okay. From this same system?
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
How are you doing, Jim?
I'm running. Where's my address? What's my address?
I think I have one peer now.
To get your
Two.
address, look for listening for traffic on.
Oh,
I pasted the address in the chat. In Discord, rather. I'm getting connected peers now. That's good success.
Bonds, block bonds don't match. Expected?
Okay, so that's a good useful message, Jim. That means that your bonds file is different than my bonds file.
How could that be?
Here's my bonds file. There's a chance you might have used a default one that got generated when you ran a standalone real quick. Did you save this bonds file to your Genesis directory?
Show them where it is in Discord.
Yeah, I think I got it. So let me go in there.
Yeah, you could see
okay.
in there and just cat the file and see if it's those same 4 lines.
Yeah, now show them. Now you're right. He needs to see the contents.
Well, also,
It has 5 lines.
well, okay, but the last one's blank though, right?
No.
Oh, so then it's not the right one. That's the one that got generated when you did your standalone node earlier.
I see. So I have to do a wget again, huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're using a server. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Josh,
I see
can you
what
you're
happened.
connected to my node?
That's a good question, David. I have, so I'm a little confused actually too. Somehow it's saying I have 11 peers. I don't really know what's up with that.
Did you delete your Casper blah 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 directory before you started?
I definitely did it today in the last hour. I don't know if I did it immediately before this command.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. It downloaded bonds.txt.1.
Oh. All right. So here's a thought that I'm having. I have I can see when I do my metrics thing here that I have. Oh wait. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, right. I have one approval received. Definitely, I don't have Jim's yet because of the bonds file. I don't know exactly whether I'm able to communicate with David yet. So we could just let this thing roll, or we could, you know, kill it and make sure I've deleted everything I need to and try again. Or what are you guys thinking?
How many approvals do we need?
We set it to 3. We can set it to whatever we want.
Oh, well, mine should be coming any second.
Okay, cool.
Would you want to try setting it to 2?
Let's give Jim's a second to see what happens. But yeah, then
okay, right.
We might be having like network issues reaching David. Maybe we could try 2.
Maybe he needs a timeout? No, he would be getting timeout errors. Approval sent.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so we'll give mine a few seconds to. So you got the like expected candidate message, Jim? Received expected candidate, approval sent in response, or something like that.
Josh, you reload. I'm
doing it intermittently.
Oh, okay.
3 seconds or something.
How come, Dan, you having 12 peers, Josh, you having about 15, and I have just 3?
We don't know. I don't know.
3 sounds like a normal number since there's 4 of us here. I don't know how the heck I got 12.
I think you have 15 now.
Yeah, this says 16 even. I don't really know what's up with that.
I know that's been a subject of confusion amongst the Tuesday testing.
Yeah, it could be that someone who did Tuesday testing remembered me. Like if I just have the same IP address as I did on Tuesday, for example, maybe they are still finding me that way. But
actually, that web page you've got showed up because there's Kademlia peers and then there's RChain peers.
Yeah, right. So I have 81 Kademlia peers right now.
And how many of the other kind?
16 normal RChain peers.
Weird. Okay, so much for that theory.
Okay, and two approvals, and Dan and Jim both have confirmed they see it. So, David, you're not getting any errors, right? We're just apparently having network problems.
I don't think I'm getting any errors. Everything seems to be running fine.
Okay. I think maybe the best thing to do is kill this and try again with 2 required SIGs and hope for the best.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do it. Decision made. So I'm open to your guys' input here too. What should I clear out here? Casper Block Store and RSpace and log? And maybe my keys, my node certificates?
I was thinking if you clear just .rnode, it clears everything.
I was going to say, is there a reason not to clear everything?
Only I just need to move those 2.
Right.
Yeah, just get rid of the R space in the block store.
Or I guess I don't need that. Let me make sure those are there before I... Wallets. Oh, this is what I wanted, Genesis. Okay, that looks good. Oh, okay, so now I just need to...
Should we restart or just...
Yeah, you should kill yours right now, and then we'll restart in a second.
Okay, are we changing the commands we used to restart? Like,
only really slightly. We're going to change it to 2 required signatures.
Okay, so we're not changing the validator private key,
We're
right?
not changing any of that stuff.
Okay.
Joshy, when you document this, it might be nice to put validator private keys in a config file. I hate having them on the command line all the time. You know, I'm getting ready to paste my command to you guys. I was like, don't do that. You know.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So,
you know, you can always set the required signatures low and still get as many people as possible to.
Sure.
whoa. A good reason not to leave this at 50 minutes is because if we get both of our required signatures in the next 3 minutes, we're going to have to sit around for an hour before we see this thing go live.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right.
It waits, it gathers signatures for 50 minutes, and if it has reached the minimum by the end of that time period, then the network launches.
So, because more signatures are good, even if, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Even if 10's enough, 12 is better. So maybe you guys want to try like 9 minutes? Can we do it that fast?
Or less.
It should be fast, huh?
Yep. Okay. So I just ran my command. All you have to change is required sigs to 2. I think I'm the only one that does this duration thing.
Yeah, I just put my command with SIGs 2 in.
Oh, no, that's a lie. I'm sorry, guys. I have a new rnode address now.
Whoops.
Oh, good. I didn't actually run mine.
That's going to be a problem if you get a new rnode address every time you run. Is that what?
Every time he bootstraps the network, he gets a new rnode address.
So we changed the bootstrap address to this new address, right?
Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah. So I will. Let me just make up a new command here.
You know what else might be useful here is to use that spreadsheet I made that builds these commands.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, you did this already, Dan. This already says required SIGs 2.
Yeah.
What it doesn't have is, oh wait, does it have my new rnode address?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so now we could safely run. Okay.
I win. Okay, I got a peer. Two peers. Oh, I received a block approval from 4678. I think that's Dan.
Yeah.
And I received a block of, oh, that's this from him again.
Okay, I think I have one peer.
Nice.
Me too. Accepted candidate.
Oh, you got the expected candidate?
Approval sent in response.
Yay, that's great.
Where do I see that? Where do you see that?
In the logs.
The approval sent. It's supposed to come. It's supposed to show among the log, right?
Yep.
But this comes when someone sends a block, or does it show naturally?
It comes because Joshy's node is sending you a block, yeah.
And because your node agrees with my block.
So you have 9 peers because people are still running? I don't understand. This was a new...
We're not totally clear on that, Jim. My best guess is that people who learned my IP address during node testing Tuesdays just still have their nodes running and are connecting to me again. They're definitely not going to send block approvals, though. Only we'll send block approvals.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% clear on why I have 10 peers.
It's like, you know, the node address is different. The bootstrap address is different. So you would think it would
Right.
work.
Well, I can imagine that it would be useful for cross-shard messaging, you know, that even though they're not in the same shard, they connect to each other.
So we've got both block approvals necessary. It'd be cool if we got a third one from David, but I think the network's going to go live anyway. 7 minutes from whenever we... 7 minutes from 11:30, so 3 more minutes maybe.
You want to show my rnode config helper?
Yeah, definitely. So,
Sweet.
yeah, this is cool. So like for, oh, you know what, Dan? You could actually add some fields here for like required SIGs, etc.
Yeah, but for now, just stick the bootstrap in there.
Yeah, right.
The standalone value, is it supposed to be no or false? I was thinking it was a Boolean.
What was that, David?
I was just talking about the spreadsheet. Yeah, this spreadsheet. The value, isn't it supposed to be for standalone false?
Oh,
Well, I know that no works.
Okay.
Wait, Joshy, if you're trying to help us, then that should be no.
yeah, right, correct. I just wanted to make sure it was working as expected.
Oh, I see.
Did standalone get put in here though?
I think so. Checking the config file is sometimes easier.
Oh, I didn't remember you had done that.
So standalone false is what goes in the config file.
It's commented though also.
Right, but that's because it's a default. I just,
Oh, got it. Okay. So just for the spirit of,
Right.
oh yeah, oh, very nice.
But the real value is no.
Yeah, the real value is no. And then also, just FYI, I don't see standalone showing up in the command.
Ooh, that's bad. Okay. You might insert a comment there.
Yeah, or I could even probably just fix it right now, I think, right?
No, because it's got a big formula where, see?
If standalone equals yes, dash dash standalone. That looks right.
Yes, and yet it's not working, so.
Right, okay. Yeah, okay, I got you. We do standalone flag mapping. That look good for you?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, actually, if you make it insert a comment using the insert menu, it'll send me mail instead.
Okay, you want it, where do you want it, or let's see, insert.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not the right cell to do it on. These two are the right cell.
You can also hit the comment icon in the taskbar.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, this one? Oh, no. Oh, this one. No. Where are you looking, Jim?
It's right next to the link button, just above the spreadsheet.
Up here somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. To the right more?
This one.
That one, yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, nice. Control-Alt-M. Good to know. Okay, we've got to be... Okay, look at this. At 11:37.
Paste that into the Discord.
Okay.
Ta-da!
This was a big success. Hooray. Let's try to get our Rolang on.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I'm actually not a validator in this network.
Right. You'd have to start another node.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Why don't you go to Discord and use the commands there?
Because it's not connected to this network.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's the one you're using, Jim?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Which channel? Just any?
You can do it right here. Yeah.
Okay. You watch me to make sure I get this right. It's just like this, right?
I would do an eval. Rolang sends it to a channel and then gets the result back. I guess you can do that also. You just want to.
No, let's get it on the network. Oh, well, I want to get it on the eval is going to just do it locally, right? I want to put it on.
Then you can deploy and propose.
Okay, so what do I type? Like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Like this?
Colon, yeah.
I just did this.
We made a block.
Okay, you can see that.
I just deployed high card.
I'm not seeing any.
I can't see any of the deploys or propose.
That's because he used the back. Oh, he did it on his own machine.
So for some reason it says I sent block 1. Oh, okay. Added block B8. So where's the block I made? Oh, okay. I made block 1F02. Oh, there it is. Okay. And then Dan's was block B812. Oh, I see it right there too. Oh, nice. This is working.
So now all you have to do is edit 2 hours of video down to some text and documentation, right?
Yeah. So, you know, what I want to say is that marketing would love to sponsor CoLab to do that.
Oh, sure.
Rather than me doing it itself. Jim and David, what do you guys think about that?
I would love to hear an explanation of exactly what is happening now that you let me think about this. You set this private test net up, then you went to the Discord channel and you wrote some code and you compiled it there, and then you deployed it there. Now, Jim, could you explain how the Discord REPL is connected to the private testnet that you set up this morning?
Yeah, I could do that.
It's because the node that Jim has been setting up is the one behind Robot.
Right. It's the instance on robot.net.
So the stuff that happened on Discord is a fancy interface that Jim and some others wrote that connects Discord to an rnode. That part wasn't necessary for what we did today. It's just a cool thing. The commands Dan pasted here is a more sort of like anyone can do it kind of way without our really cool Discord tool. So once we went through that whole Genesis ceremony and got a live network, then we're just, here we go. We've got an RChain running. And so we just wanted to like play with it and make sure it worked. So we started proposing some blocks. So Dan did it from the command line. Jim and I guess it was I, did it through Discord.
Yeah, if you page down, you see I entered some more.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Okay, but I didn't get the expected response from when I put in cookie.
Did it eat your backticks?
No.
Well, do you see what it's got there?
I know. The backticks put it in.
Yeah, I think that's why this is highlighted and fixed with. I think the backticks are there.
The backticks just changed the
font. Did you go through? The Discord didn't throw them away?
No.
Okay.
It said evaluating.
But I didn't get an answer.
Right, but what do you get when you get a syntax, when you do a syntax error?
Right. If I just copy that and paste it in, I'll get an error.
Oh, I missed my colon. This is a syntax error, intentional syntax error. Oh, it's not going to work when I just edit my message, though.
No.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm seeing how this how it works now.
I don't know why this isn't working. I mean, this has been working all along. Now, if I put it in without the backticks,
We tripped a critical need sensor.
I should get an error, right? What's happening?
Well, it could be that it drops errors on the floor. I don't know.
Let me check the log.
Bind exception already in use means you've got you've already started the node on your machine.
You have to kill the running node. So
So guys, I should probably jump out. I've got some family stuff I'm supposed to get to at 11:30. So
I was gonna say.
I don't need my computer, so I'm just gonna leave it sitting here running this bootstrap node. So feel free to play around if you want to or whatever.
Cool.
Thanks for doing that with me, guys. That was fun.
thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Darcy.
So I'm going to open another robot here. I mean, duplicate session.
I'm also going to try to wind down here. Did we cover most of the agenda requests?
Good question.
We covered the bounty system stuff. We covered my certificate of membership, and we covered Joshy's testnet boot. Check Zoom chat here.
So, oh, I know why I'm not getting the output. Because it's going to a different log file. It's not going to the right log file. How do I fix that? So if I do a link, symbolic.
I need to run, guys. Thanks. This was great.
Yeah.
All right.
I do a symbolic link of rnode. Where's the log anyway? It's in .rnode.
There is one there, I think, yeah.
Log .rnode. Oops. .rnode. I'm in KYC bot. Link dash symbolic. dot rnode what? Dot node rnode dot log to slash lib slash where is the log?
Which log are you after?
Okay. So the rnode.log here, and I have another one. I have another one here, right? There's no log here. Why doesn't it list the files? That rnode. It's there. How come?
There's one in your current directory, is what happened. If you take the slash away and hit tab again, it's going to say what files match that in the current directory.
All right. So I guess the question is, where is the log coming? Where is the log?
How did you invoke the node? Did you invoke it just on the command line, or did you use like system?
I did it on the command line. Where is it?
If you do Control R, you can search your history.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not coming up. You'll see, probably because it's a different terminal.
Oh, yes, quite likely.
Control Z.
Did you give it a data directory?
This log's going nowhere.
Well, it's going right to your screen there.
Right. So I can't get the, robot can't get the responses, from the log.
I see.
So basically,
oh, so it's still not using gRPC. Okay.
I need to do a foreground and then a Control C, and then on errors out to a copy of the standard output out to our node.log. And I guess I shouldn't put this in the no hop if I want to log out. No hop.
Now, nohup will write to nohup.txt.
Not if I've redirected the standard output.
Okay, all right.
And it lies. It says that it.
Good old 1970s.
Okay. Oh yeah, it did the redirection of standard error to standard out, which I did. I did manually.
Right.
With the 2 out to copy 1 or 2 greater than &1. Okay, so I forgot to do an ampersand.
Okay, I'm
At
going
the end to run it backwards, so I do a Control Z.
All right.
and then a BG background. Yeah, splendid background. Okay, and now if I do a this looks like I did it without the back quotes. This one has the back quotes. There we go. Fixed. So did we cover the agenda?
I think we did.
Okay, now after this meeting, we were planning to do a BYOID meeting,
Yeah.
and it looks like we lost Dan. We might as well stop the recording now, or do you want to continue with the recording?
Yeah, we could stop the recording now.